Hey everyone, I'm excited to share my hackathon project inspired by a personal experience working on a larger and very dynamically evolving project with constantly changing requirements and specification. In that project, we started to heavily rely on Speckle. For data management, we had to handle manual inputs, Grasshopper, Python, CAD drawing, simulation results, storage, data transformation, and delivery of reports, charts, and dashboards. We tried to hack together more and more automation workflows, trying to keep an overview through Miro and Notion boards. However, when we attempted to apply our workflow to another project, we realized how fragile the whole setup was. There were hard-coded values and assumptions everywhere. Updating webhook filters for 10 deployed scripts was quite a nightmare. Not to mention setting up streams and branch structures, Notion projects, and so on manually. While Speckle Automate really alleviates some of these issues, there's something missing, especially for visually oriented people. Something that actually already exists elsewhere. Platforms like Make.com, Zapier, Power Automate, or N8N that simplify chaining up APIs and services into automation workflows. Introducing Speckle Coordinate. I developed 5 Speckle nodes for N8N, allowing you to fetch and send data to Speckle, manage streams, users, and branches, and most excitingly, trigger whole workflows via Speckle webhooks. Kickstart your project with ease. Recreate your Notion pages, set up streams and branches, and invite the right people with just one click. Send a report at the end of each day using Speckle GraphQL, OpenAI, and Telegram chatbot. It's never been easier. These workflows can also be called via API. There are deployable low-code backends. But what about these complex workflows? Wouldn't it be nice if we could reverse it, not just map, but actually build them? Introducing Speckle Orchestrate, where diagrams define the processing logic. This makes it easy to keep an overview, adjust, and reuse workflows. We have 4 node types: Speckle branches, methods, deployed scripts, and local methods, such as Grasshopper definition that cannot be called automatically. Finally, the dependency resolver determines which branch is outdated and which method needs to be executed next. We can set parameters of methods in the nodes or supply them from external sources, making workflows parameterizable. And if a local workflow can't be executed automatically, we could notify the responsible person. The Speckle Orchestrate graph can drive external visualizations embedded in Notion. You can see the entire project at a glance, with outdated branches highlighted in red, watch them change status, and see the project grow. Aggregate analysis results into a branch that drives a dashboard. We can also add an OpenAI and Notion node to add a summary of changes to our table here. Updates appear in real time, allowing you to dive into numbers. Both solutions you see here rely on the same Speckle data with selection synced via socket, allowing for merging of scales and modes. Speckle Coordinate and Orchestrate empower you even further to automate boring tasks, unleash creativity, and ensure your data is always up to date. Thanks for your attention. Now some post-pitch comments on the actual state of implementation. First of all, the Speckle Coordinate part. It's quite straightforward to develop custom components on platforms like N8N or others, since we essentially wrap GraphQL APIs here. So there's still some work to do. I made these 5 components. Fetch and sending data is now quite simply implemented. There is no kind of iterative fetching of complete data of a commit, for instance. And I think the most exciting part is actually the webhook feature, because with that you can automatize trigger web workflows in a quite simple way. So for next hackathon, this is going to be my tool of choice, I guess. Then the other part, orchestrate, so to say, that was quite hacky implementation. The whole logic of N8N, their flow logic is a bit different than what I expected, so that gave me quite some trouble with my idea of creating this kind of directed acyclic graph to resolve dependencies and then compute directly. So I had to work around a bit. There's a hacky way to fetch the whole structure of the N8N document, some JSON format, then create this graph object there in my specific way, then have a custom script to solve the dependencies, so to say, and then it creates a list of objects, of methods that would need to be called next up. And this is how it's done right now, and but still requires quite some work, I would say. But I managed to run it one time through completely.